Good evening. It is now 6:08. I'd like to call the Administration and Finance Committee meeting to order. Madam Clerk?
Brenham, McBride, Livingston,
Here.
Weaver,
Here.
Mackey.
Here.
Motion, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is approval of minutes from September 26, 2023.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion, deletions?
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next is approval agenda. Administrator Brown, any additions?
No additions, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second for approval of the agenda. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Item 4A, Department of Public Works, Jim Hamilton, L.B. Owens Airport, Richland County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 3. Mr. Brown, will you be handling this one this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you. I'm going to, if you bear with me, I'm going to go to page 11 of your packet. I'm going to walk down the strategic and general discussion for the purpose of the committee. And then maybe after that's done, if there are questions and that item is resolved, I'd like to introduce our new airport general manager as a part of the update to the committee. Thank you. Page 11, you will see under the subject line, strategic and general discussion, that the existing airport ordinance is outdated, which is why the information is being updated. It does not reflect the current administration, the organizational levels of service that are provided, nor the budget and financial management practices or the airport development process. This document that is contained is an update that addresses all of these areas. The areas are highlighted, and though it's a longer document, as an ordinance, it organizes and streamlines descriptions of essential functions. Among the significant items addressed are the following. Under the definitions, it does add a section of definitions of technical aviation and airport terminology. Under the organization, it adds a section to reflect the current county organization. Under the Airport Commission, it reduces the size from 9 to 7 commissioners, consolidates 2 officer positions into 1, maintains 2 community representatives, and expands the area from which they can be appointed. It emphasizes broad strategic responsibilities. As far as funding, it addresses airport funding to include grants, fees, the rates, and the budgets. For services, it defines the basic level of services that the airport provides. Under operations and facilities, it defines the essential operations, the facilities, and the airspace, imaginary surfaces. Under tenants, it defines the tenants and various tenant business organizations. And for enforcement, it empowers the airport general manager with specific limited code enforcement powers on the airport property. As you look further down on that document, you will see that under additional comments and for consideration, the Airport Commission conducted a work session on this ordinance on August 31st, 2023. The ordinance was recommended by a unanimous vote at their September 11, 2023 meeting to be approved with these updates. And so we're bringing it to you now, and we're asking also for your approval of these updates to the airport ordinance. And not to confuse the matter, you may recall that there was an airport manual that was discussed. That is not this portion. That is something that is currently in review and will come back at a later time. But we are ready to move forward with consideration for the updates to the ordinance.
Thank you, Administrator Brown. Any discussion from the committee? All right, okay. Councilwoman Terratio, you recognize.
Thank you. Not from the committee, but just reporting out as the one of the liaisons to the airport. I sat in on some of the rework sessions, and I know that they went through this thoroughly and have really good recommendations. I also will just say that reducing the size of the commission, while it may seem like a step back, we do have really good commissioners appointed, and they are very active and involved and pay attention. So just having a tighter group of more active people, I think, is a good move.
Mr. Livingston, you recognized.
Currently, this reference to fixed base operator, is that person now hired by, chosen by commission or by council? How's that done now?
So I can have the airport general manager come down and provide the details, but we're actually going through a process of identifying a new fixed base operator. There's one that we're currently used, that contract is coming to an end, or that agreement is coming to an end. And so you go through a process to select another one, but I'll allow Mr. Savalas, we'll go ahead and kind of introduce you a little bit early on in the process so you can have the opportunity to address that question
It seems
too.
like a change in this ordinance. Sure. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, council, for the opportunity to speak to you. My name is Peter Savalas. I am the new airport general manager, and I'm very proud and honored to be that. So, in response to your question, yes, sir, it is a request for information process that is conducted through the Airport Commission, and then it is also incorporated as part of the council approval process through the city staff, working with the airport, with the county's procurement director, and also on through legal, and then for imagine up to for your visibility, at least, is my understanding. So, but we do conduct it, and it is reviewed. Each one is based on qualifications of conducting per certain standards.
What was the rationale for going?
I cannot respond to that directly, as I'm just started. This is my second day, but I believe the liaison defined it fairly clearly, and I think that's a great response. Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sir, if you would stay right there, I'm sorry.
Mr. Savalas.
Mr. Savalas, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
So I want to just pause real quick. If you could properly introduce yourself again. You say it's your second day. Can you tell us a little bit about where you
Yes,
came
ma'am.
from?
I'll be more than happy
Thank
to. My name is Peter Savalas. It's actually Ceballos. My parents were from Ecuador, but I grew up here actually in Colombia. And I graduated from the University of South Carolina, where I also obtained an Air Force commission as a second lieutenant. And I went into the Air Force active duty for 7 years and came out in 1992. And I've been since then in airport management for the last 30 years. My first position was up in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I worked for 15 years at the big industrial air park in Greenville, South Carolina, Donaldson Center, which is now called South Carolina Technology and Aviation Center. I spent a year working for the Georgia Department of Transportation as their aviation program manager. And then for the last 10 years, I've been the airport manager at the Charlotte Monroe Executive Airport, where I worked for the city of Monroe. And I managed the general aviation facility. So I actually started my flight training here at Jim Hamilton and L.B. Owens Airport back in 1983. So it's kind of a homecoming for me.
Well, thank you so much. Welcome to Richland County. We're
Thank you,
glad to
ma'am.
have
I am
you.
glad to be here.
I would ask if it's okay, Mr. Brown, can he possibly make sure he emails and introduce himself to staff, or at least share contact info?
As they're getting me on board, I've got an email, I've got a cell phone. The only thing I'm looking for now is a landline.
Oh, you don't give him a cell phone. Hold on there.
I got a cell phone. Yeah. So I appreciate it, the support. Actually, all that I've been given so far from the county has been tremendous, and I really do appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so I believe we had Councilman Weaver, Councilwoman Terratio. That's a yes? Okay, and Councilman Brandt. Want to speak first?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just going to answer Mr. Livingston's question. The reason I sat in on one of the Airport Commission meetings, the reason they want to lower the percentage from 9 to 7 is it's easier to get a quorum. And sometimes they've had a difficulty getting enough members to have a quorum at 9 members. So that's the reason for the.
You'll keep the two community members.
Correct. That's correct. But that was the rationale that the commission wanted. Easier to get a quorum.
Well, at this time, how many members do we have? Are we turning anybody away? I guess is what I'm asking. Or do we have 9 now and we're telling somebody they can't come back, or?
I'm getting
So
a-
the Rules and Appointments Committee did appoint everyone, so that commission is full. So they
If
they
not-
actually have 9 active members, yes.
So that does concern me a little.
There are some.
But if they just got appointed, they won't be rotating off anytime soon. Sorry. Did you have something else, Mr. Ratio, before I?
Well, I was just going to say, the ones that we just appointed but it was my thoughts that it was the next people who are due to roll off would just roll off and then they would maintain 7. I'm getting a nod.
I would like if we could get that confirmed at this point. If there are currently 9 people that council has voted to serve, I would like council to have kind of a say before we reduce 7 or determine how we get to 7.
Understood.
You recognize?
Mr. Savalas, welcome back to Columbia. We're happy to have you. Sounds like you've had a great career and you're well qualified to serve in this role, and we're glad to have you back home and serving in such an important way. I was reading the additions as it relates to the community representative positions on the commission, and was really surprised and thought, wow, that's a really small area, 2-mile radius of the airport where we would find the community representatives. But it sounds like it was previously even smaller, an even smaller area. Does anybody know what it was, or was it stated in the ordinance?
Yeah, I think it will. Can I respond?
Councilwoman Teresia, you recognize?
Thank you. So it was my understanding that they were just neighborhood designations. So it was like a Hollywood Rose Hill resident and a Rosewood resident. And I think that it was just designated per the neighborhood.
Was that set forth in an ordinance, or?
They were listed out. So, yeah.
Okay. So is the portion that's grayed in that section 3.8A, is that replacing different language that used to specify the neighborhoods? I guess I'm trying to follow what am I looking at here as far as track changes go? What was there before? What's proposed to be there now?
Sherry Brown?
Yeah, I'll have to confirm that. I don't have the answer for you, so I'll have to clarify what the actual change is so that I hear the question. So since we don't have a ready answer for that, I'll have to clarify that what we have as the official information from the county so that I can speak clearly. So I'm not sure, and we'll get that back to you. So Madam Chair, Mr. Reynolds, I'll get that to the committee so you will have the details of what the actual change is, what the language was before, and what the language is as requested. And I'll have that specifically set out, and I will have that to you before the end of this week just to respond to this committee.
Thank you, and I do think it's noteworthy and worth our time and attention, the issue that was raised earlier about trying to reduce from 9 to 7 when we have a full commission of 9 right now. It'd be nice to find a good way to do that.
Any other discussion? Entertain a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
That motion dies for lack of a second. Mr. Livingston, you recognized?
Yes, I think how urgent is this matter as far as making these changes? If we don't, I mean,
It's not time sensitive. So if you don't make it today, then, and it doesn't go to council next week, it won't put us out of compliance with something. So it is something that we can come back to you with.
I believe that greatest next and
Have a motion for deferral to our November meeting.
Second.
Second, any discussion?
Brenham,
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Mr. Weaver, we're at item number 5.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion is second, Madam Clerk.
Brenham.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.